Now, as we mentioned earlier, aid came to Grand Riviere and Matelot today as much of the roadway was cleared. However, up to Thursday afternoon, Matelot village remained inaccessible by car as landslips still had to be cleared. And just coming back from Matelot is our CNews reporter, Peter Christopher. Peter, inaccessible by car. How did you even get into the area, and what's it like for the people of the area right now?
Well, Grand Riviere is accessible by car. They're still clearing up the roadway to Matelot, which, is leaving residents a little frustrated, but the residents of Grand Riviere were glad to see that they could get some supplies. They received some water, some medical aid, mattresses were distributed. Both the councillor for Toko Fishing Pond, Terry Rondon, and the MP for the area, Glenda Jennings-Smith, came into the area via helicopter just afternoon, and they sort of oversaw the distribution of items. However, some of the residents had some concerns about how the items were distributed. What they did is that they had members of the Sangre Regional Corporation essentially take information from the residents in the area as to what they needed, and some of the residents were a bit concerned that they didn't do any checking or investigating which houses were damaged before they asked residents to come and make claim forms to get relief items. So what they felt was some people who didn't actually need aid actually ended up in the line to get mattresses and coolers and chairs. But apart from that, most people were relatively relieved that they were finally getting some sort of aid after being cut off from the rest of the country for most of yesterday.
So this is immediate aid. How much aid do you think they're going to need in the long term, and how soon do they need it?
Well, Matelot is still without electricity, so TNTech was working up until we left. They had just reached Grand Riviere in terms of replacing the power lines that were down, but they will need some food items. I know that I spoke to the Community Comfort Patrol. They went into Matelot early on Thursday, 2 a.m. they got there and they dropped off some water, and they said because there's no electricity in the area, a lot of them requested pictures so that they could start lighting lamps so that they could see tonight. So that's some of the things that they're looking for, food items and water, among the top things that they're requesting at this point in time.
And what about getting in and out of the area? How soon do you think they'll be able to do that?
Well, I think that Matelot should definitely be accessible by tomorrow. I think where I saw up to, it was just a couple trees that they need to clear to get into that area. But for now, they're still sending supplies by boat to that area. But Grand Riviere is fully accessible by car.
All right, thank you so much, Peter. Peter Christopher there. He just got into the studio after returning from the Matelot area.